Ottawa, the nation's capital. There's only one place to get all the answers, and I'm going right to the top. It's been quite a week in the House, and I need a statement.
I'm afraid that kind of information requires a great deal of research, and I must defer it to my secretary.
Well, Madam Minister, the nation has had a look at our very best all week. And tonight we get a chance to see the two Ontario teams. It should be a tremendous semifinal.
The action gets serious tonight in Ottawa, home of the 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts. Final, Team Canada's Heather Houston, aiming for her third straight Canadian title. Ontario's Alison Goring of the Bayview in Toronto will challenge the champ for the right to meet Nova Scotia's emotional, hot-shooting Heather Rankin in Saturday's final. The semi tonight, live from the Civic Centre in Ottawa.
Hi everyone, I'm John Wells with two very famous colleagues here tonight, Ray Turnbull and Linda Moore. It is all or nothing for these teams here at the Civic Centre this evening. It is win or watch the final on television Saturday afternoon. They have met before. What effect does that have on this one tonight?
Well, I think when you know each other, there is no intimidation. Playing a previous world champion would be a little scary for anybody. I don't think Alison Goring will be that worried about that situation here. Also in the round robin, the score was 7-4 in Ontario's favor, but that doesn't matter either. The round robin's passed. We're into the semis, and here we go.
All right, Linda, Ray, what about the pressure of playing one game, sudden death tonight, after playing in the round robin all week?
Well, the pressure is fantastic, but I'm not sure that I can agree with Madam Minister in this particular case. Heather Houston is the world champion. She's been under this pressure before. She has a habit, John, of coming up very big, and I look forward to do the same tonight.
All right, Ray, let's see how the Skips see it tonight.
We're looking forward to it. We've played Alison a number of times, and they've managed to come up on the winning side more times than we'd like them to have, and we're looking forward to a great game. It's exciting to be in Ottawa, have two Ontario teams playing semi-final, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, we've played Heather a couple times, 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years, and every game we've had have been close. This week, both teams are playing pretty consistently, so I'm sure it'll be a good game tonight. And we're just going to go out and play our game tonight and hopefully come out on top at the end.
They are ready, so are we. We're set for action at the Civic Centre in Ottawa. Ontario's Alison Goring, hoping she's ready. Heather Houston, hoping to defend. Live tonight, the semifinal in the 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts. Back at the Civic Centre, I'm John Wells along with Linda Moore and Ray Turnbull. It gets serious tonight on day 7 of the 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts. Let's look at keys to victory for Alison Goring.
Well, I think she has to handle the pressure of the big semi-final game and keep it wide open against Heather Houston.
All right, Ray.
Alison Goring, I agree that she has to play this game very simple and wide open, and the pressure will be fantastic on her.
Linda, the keys to a triumph tonight for Heather Houston.
She is a great person at draws, and come around, she has to pick up the draw weight early and be very aggressive and play her game.
The front end has to throw the big weight a little better, John, and Lorraine Lang is the key in the hole. She's got to go back to that form of 1989.
There they are, the two skips ready for action here. Heather Houston, Alison Goring. 2 Ontario rinks, one to defend a title, one last year, or at least hope to defend that title. A win tonight means a shot in the final tomorrow. Here's lead Tracy Kennedy from Team Canada, hitting on 76% of her shots this week.
Percentage-wise, John, she was the top lead in the event. One of the problems, Linda, I think that Team Canada had throughout the week, the games I was able to see, was that they have a little trouble splitting and spilling rocks. They have to be able to maybe throw that, and that's what I referred to in one of the keys, that if you do get that 1 or 2 point lead, you have to be able to keep that front open and keep it clean.
They play the come-around game very well, and so they want to keep the guards up front. Try to get a nose hit from Ontario.
Here's the Ontario lead now in the hack. Cheryl McPherson.
And Ontario has last rock. It was a flip of a coin for this game. During the round robin, Red Rocks had last rock in a predetermined way, but today it was just a flip, and Ontario won.
Always nice to have the last rock in that first end, and to kind of, it's a little insurance for you. Or
Well, I think for Ontario, too, if they have any jitters, it may come early, and perhaps they may need that last rock in these first few ends.
Nothing in play for Team Canada lead. Tracy Kennedy.
front of the rings, center line. Lorraine has shown us in the past, and we've certainly seen this team play an awful lot in the last 2 years and 3 years, and she likes to close the game a little bit and is not afraid to take those little extra chances. And I agree, Linda, that Allison Goring, I think, especially in the early ends, has got to play it fairly wide open and clean, not let Heather get a little jump on her.
Same weight, same shot for Ontario's Cheryl McPherson now, hitting on 72% of her shots this week.
During the round robin, these teams played on Monday night, so that was quite a while ago. This score was 7-4 for Ontario, and they did get ahead fairly early and maintained that lead the whole way through.
Well, here's an early indication, Linda. She got the nose hit. It's about 2 feet in front of the rings, and our viewers could see the call for Diane Adams.
Team Canada second has been good on 69% of her opportunities so far in Ottawa.
It's a great matchup. Tracy Kennedy leads all the leads here in percentages, and Andrea Laws, the second for Allison Goring, is the top second. So the front ends are very, very equal.
Smash the guard. Whoa.
Well, not really a smash on the guard, but she does touch it over. And let's see if Allison goes for the tap on her own stone or just removes the other guard.
Go firm.
First time in a national championship for the Ontario second, Andrea Laws.
Yep. Right up. Three.
She wants to roll it away.
Okay.
Worked out all right.
Did your agents call with any acting opportunities after that dramatic opening tonight?
I haven't been back to the hotel yet,
Mr. Secretary and Madam Minister.
I'm auditioning for the Young and the Restless next week, so everybody stay tuned. Well, Heather Houston decided that the one Ontario stone in front of the rings was just too close, and she's going to go after it with a takeout from Diane Adams.
And it is too, Linda. It's just too close to the rings to try and go around it.
But here's a chance for Ontario.
Good opportunity. A corner guard is set up. Allison Goring with the advantage of last rock, of course, ducking behind her own corner. There's the call. Andrea Laws.
Almost 80% this week.
Yeah, leading
79.
all seconds. Yeah. Played tremendous all week.
Well, did you watch their drills? Just get a feel for what they do.
They do practice on the sheet before the game, so they should have a fairly good feel for the weight.
Whoa, lots of room. Close. Yep. Whoa, lots
Needs
of
it.
room. Lots of room. Right back. Yep. Right back. Just wait.
We try and watch the ice as close as we can, Linda. It's the ice has been tremendous here all week. Lots of movement, late movement.
That one didn't break as much at the end.
That's right.
Maybe a little early, and the pebble may be still quite high. As the pebble breaks down, it does curl a little more.
Thirds rocks now. Lorraine Lang, Team Canada.
Will she get a roll behind the guard?
Should sit there rather nicely.
Was plan B though, John. You know, it's not a good start for Lorraine. You could see the whole stone. Seemed to get it started right away. It went right away because the draw didn't move very much down there at all. So she must have started it.
Ontario third, Kristen Turcotte now. 83 Canadian junior champion. Curled well here all week.
Clean.
Just for weight.
T-line. T-line.
Just for weight only.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Shot.
Spreading them out. Ontario in good shape here. Last rock, first end.
They would have liked that to stop about the tee line, but it's certainly in play and sitting second shot.
It's a good shot, Linda. Kristen Turcotte and Lorraine Lang were 2 and 3 in the percentage book as far as thirds went this week. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare this game.
She wants a roll.
That straightened up almost, you know that? They jumped on it for a minute, then it just seemed to straighten right up.
Goring will look to replace that rock.
In-turn draw, Kristen Turcotte.
We'll try and get a draw time for this. Looks like the ice is quite fast.
She's got her fancy watch out again, Ray.
You bet.
T-line.
Yeah, needs it. Yep.
T-line her back. Come on.
Ontario has really good sweeping.
Yeah,
That's
they do
one
have.
of their strengths. Very
Clean,
good
keep
at
it
judging
clean.
the weight.
I think from a rushing point of view, they may, as a team, be a little stronger than Tracy and Diane.
Let's wait.
Well, the draw weight was 23.5 seconds from the hog line to where it stopped in the rings, and that's quite fast.
Hasn't it been at about that all week? 23 and a half?
It even got up to almost 25
5,
seconds
yeah.
one day. The higher the number, the faster the ice, of course.
Down to Skips Rocks now. Team Canada's Heather Houston will throw first.
It'll be a great start for Allison Goring if she could pick up her deuce here, Linda. For every team, it gives you a little shot of confidence early, and
That's how the game in draw 7 started. Ontario did pick up 2 in the first end when they had last rock in the round robin.
Okay, Heather.
that ran very straight as well.
That sometimes happens when you're all out there by yourself. In the round robin, there's a fair amount of heat around you, and things are a little bit different. But sometimes the ice gets a bit colder when the one game is on, and it does straighten a little bit.
All eyes on Sheet C tonight. Semi-final. Ontario Team Canada. Winner on against Nova Scotia in the final. Allison Goring, her first rock of the opening end.
And it'd be great for Allison if she could get this first one in. That'd be a real boost of confidence for her.
Have an
Good
eye.
judgment, good brushing.
I jumped on it, but backing off a little bit now.
Yep.
That's a great shot for her to get going.
They'll get it there. Almost perfectly in line.
Nice weight. Thanks. Good shot.
Only from the overhead would you know any different, right? Everywhere else in the arena, it looks absolutely perfect.
You're right, Lynn, it's a nice start. You know, you catch the tee line, the draw on that first end to lie 2. At the Houston here,
Eyes a bit tighter ice.
best she can do is hit and stick and hope that Allison Goring will hit and roll out.
Facing 2 stones right now, belonging to Ontario. Two-time defending champion Heather Houston from Thunder Bay.
Oh, whoa, never. Never, never, never. No. Yep.
Never and then yes. That's a different call. It must have really curled because she's got it on the nose.
Skips get to change their mind, though, don't they?
Yeah,
You
quite
never.
often, actually.
And they can actually do it without explanation of why.
Normal.
Yeah, they're the boss.
That's right.
Right. Final stone coming for Allison Goring of Ontario. Chance for two, first end. Be a great way to start for Ontario.
It's the kind of shot, Linda, that you can't overthrow in this particular spot. Throw that nice controllable weight.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yes.
She must be happy with it.
Clean. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yes. Yep. Yes. Yep.
Pooh.
That's solid.
No problem.
2 Red Rocks counts. Allison Goring into the lead after 1. This is the semifinal. It is day 7, the 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts. Welcome back. The second end just underway. Ontario Team Canada. This the semifinal of the Scott Tournament of Hearts for berth in tomorrow's final against Nova Scotia's Heather Rankin.
Clean.
And a good move by Ontario in the second end. After picking up those great 2 points in the first end, Allison Goring called the first rock into the top of the 4-foot, and it was perfectly placed, and that's brought the play into the rings. Unfortunately, on that one, after Team Canada hit and rolled, Ontario rolled out, and this is where they don't want to leave Heather. She's going to be able to put up a guard.
Tracy Kennedy has been asked to play the long corner guard. It's her in turn. Here it is. She's the top lead percentage-wise in this competition.
Mine's all right. Real tight. Mine's good. Oh,
Whoa, whoa, she says. She wants it out front.
That's about where she tapped, I think. It's a good shot.
Firm.
Now to second stones.
Just ask me what weight.
Ontario's Andrea Laws.
For those viewers that maybe don't play the game a lot, that corner guard is put up into that position, hoping that you can eventually get a nose hit or a miss in that area, and then you get in behind it and set up the possibility of scoring your deuce.
Hurry hard. All the way. Hurry.
It's like a game of chess. You play one shot to set up another.
Well, that's a good defense. She was able to hit the guard and roll over towards center line, and that favors Ontario, of course, wanting to keep the play into the 4-foot.
This is a pretty good call by Heather. There's no need to panic here. I think if this was the 6th or 7th or 8th end, Linda should go in behind that because it is off the center line. But the key here is that Diane hit and stick. When she hits and rolls out, she allows Allison Goring to bring the play back into the house.
hurry, hurry.
It's a great shot.
Well, we'll see what Allison does here. She does have a choice. It's fairly close to center.
Here's okay.
Around we go.
And shorts, and she's right. Shorts, she said shorts fine. She indicated up on top of the 12-foot. If you duck it in behind this, good shot. Andrea Laws, the leading second percentage-wise in this
Where is it?
year's Tournament
Lots of weight.
of Hearts.
Lots of room.
Her first appearance, and quite an appearance it was, Linda.
She's played very well. They need this in front of the tee line, or it allows Heather to play on top of it.
Yep. 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 Oh. Yep. Nice shot.
Didn't break like we've noticed throughout the week, Linda, but it's an excellent shot. What we have been noticing, and I think you make a good point about the fact that there's only one game going here tonight, and the ice just maybe a little bit harder, and just not seeing the swing at this point.
Yep.
Second stone for Team Canada. Second, Diane Adams.
Hurry.
Looking for the run through, and she's close to it. She So they brushed that all the way, Linda.
They were actually just playing the roll off, which once it started to curl, I thought Heather might call them off and get both a little bit of a roll and a possible run through, but she didn't. She played it all the way as a roll. Now, what a big start this would be for Ontario if they could pull out a steal here.
Allison has started well all week, hasn't she? She's had the lead most of the week. The 2 games she lost in the final end. These 2 big games that she lost.
Needs to curl. Wait if you can.
Finished at 7 and 4 in the round robin.
Okay. Yep.
They have to bring this, I think, for line. It's just not curling as much.
Hurry. All the way. Come on. Right up. Right up.
You don't want to leave an opening.
Wait.
Holes there, I think.
Better view from back behind, perhaps.
The hole's definitely there, John. Just didn't come over. Now, Lorraine missed that in-turn hit in that first end that allowed Ontario to pick up the deuce. She's got a chance here to.
Whoa!
Stepped her weight up a little bit.
She can get a hit and a roll behind her own guard.
That's what she gets.
That's how you get extra points, John. She's happy about that.
Big shot. Lorraine Lang.
Good look at it here. She gets it just by the outside one. Now the hit, the roll it behind her own Yellowstone, and that's how you pick up extra points. You know, when you play the game and Lorraine, the wide open hit she missed in the first, and you know that you've cost your team a point, and it's one of those things that you know, you can see how it developed. It was a miss, and then Ontario exchanged rocks. We'll try and listen to them here, and I'll be quiet.
Peel weight.
Peel weight.
But as soon as you stop talking, so did they.
Yeah.
You know.
No, but but the point I was trying to make is that it's when you make a shot like that, for, you know, in the next end and set up the potential of scoring that extra point and getting your, you know, tying the game up. It really makes you feel terrific. The game is so much in the head, you know it. You can't let it get you down. You miss one, you just gotta dig your heels in a little bit and maintain your concentration.
Ontario third, Kristen Turcotte delivers.
Hurry, hard, hurry! Oh, hurry!
They want to roll away from that spot.
Trouble out front.
Shot.
Now a chance for Team Canada. Girls in Thunder Bay to pick up their 2 points. You surprised she's going with this turn, Linda?
I'm very surprised. I would play the other turn if I just thought the ice was the same all the way across, so that there wasn't a chance for a hit and a roll. They could hit the shot rock in the 4-foot and roll on top of the other one if Lorraine doesn't completely bury this.
Yep. Yeah, room. Lots of room.
But this is what Team Canada is probably the best at of any team I know, and that's the come around. They play it well with good weight.
Yeah, swing back.
They want it right back now, Linda. But this allows Allison Goring to play the hit and roll in front of it.
Full in the 8.
Okay.
John, you take that stone and you move it, you know, to the top of the 4-foot, and it's a different shot all of a sudden. But I'm surprised that she went with that turn too, Linda.
Yep.
Down to Skips Rocks now. It's Allison Goring of Ontario. Gets into the hack. Ontario leading Team Canada 2-0. So we play the second end in this semifinal at the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
Clean. Yep. Whoa. 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 Close. Yep. 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 Hurry. Yep. 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 Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
She's got a good one.
Here.
Roll to the button.
What a shot.
And the guard on the tee line, on the line, center line. Shot rock right on the tee.
Now this is a great shot. A good call by Kristen Turcotte at third. Good brushing. They hold it up. Now the roll.
And we just missed it, but Lorraine Lang turned around and said, good shot. And that's the way it is in curling. You really admire somebody that can play well, too.
She really socked it, so just to move it back about a foot. Maybe not even that. We gotta move it, though. It's right up.
It's only the second end, Linda, but all of a sudden, this is a very, very big shot.
Particularly when you look at the scoreboard already.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's Heather's first draw attempt. She just wants to tap the rock a little bit if she can.
Room.
She got it out there a bit.
Right off.
Lots of room.
Right off.
Lots of room.
She may get some finish if it's just perfect weight. It's a little bit heavy.
It's not an easy shot, is it?
It's not an easy shot, but she was, quite strong.
There's a draw here. The other one, she would roll in. Why don't we take
What's
it
your
in
strategy
tight
here,
two
Linda?
minutes? No, I'd rather keep it up. Okay.
Put up a guard. Bring out the fat rock. Do something so she can't get out the 4 foot. That rock is in such perfect position. You don't want to mess up
Just a guard.
anything.
Yep.
Guard left of center line.
Just to cover the side of the button that's exposed, you certainly don't want to touch the guard in front, so you make sure that you just block off that side of the 4 foot.
And we haven't seen the intern shot down there at all, Linda, so the guard here is really going to put
Lots of room.
the gun to Heather Houston's head.
Line's good.
Yeah, line's good. Line's good.
Looks like it's a very nice guard.
Line's good.
Sure is.
It's clean.
Nice control of her weight early.
It's a big single, isn't it? It's a big point if she can get it.
She's in pretty good shape to get it now, isn't she?
I'll say. You just have to get by the front with the intern.
This side might not be quite as keen. Yeah, the only trouble is that's the center line guard. It's over a little bit too, eh?
Just playing the draw, Linda, just to try and touch it.
That's a very pretty picture if you're cheering for Ontario, isn't it?
Yeah. Two interesting things they did say. They looked at the broom that was placed for the center line guard, decided how much ice they'd need to come
Swiss
around
side
it,
might
and
not
then
be quite as
discussed,
quick, eh?
yes, the weight. That's what Heather's saying to her sweepers. They haven't
We gotta
played this
play
side
just
as
to move it
much.
a little bit, guys. And if we have no line, it doesn't, we gotta have both here. Throw the same way. a
Hasn't
little
been
bit
easy
less.
for Heather here all week, has it?
No, she struggled, John. They
Up and
struggled all
down
week,
and-
but they just have a way of getting themselves in position to be there. But this is a big single point. If she can make a big shot here,
Yep, for line.
She's played enough weight that she could get two if she tapped it perfectly.
Hurry! Hurry hard! Hurry!
It's really
it's
curling.
on the front one, I think. Just had to get on it a little early. She had the weight.
Tough to beat that Ontario counter. Either way she tried it, from the right or from the left. Heather Houston loses one more point. Day 7 at the 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts. Some happy spectators here tonight. I guess you can't lose in one way if you're hoping for Ontario. Thunder Bay's Heather Houston against Toronto's Allison Goring in the semifinal.
It's kind of been an interesting end. The first stone of the end, Cheryl McPherson put her stone behind the tee line, the back of the 4 foot, and I was a little surprised to see Heather hit it. It's an indication that she's not going to push any buttons yet, but it was in behind the tee line. I thought she might try and use it to lay up to, or maybe throw up the corner guard. Good shot by Tracy Kennedy here. Just going to roll a little too far.
Team Canada must be going, I think this is deja vu, because the other game they played, the round robin game, the score was exactly the same after 2 ends. It was Ontario taking 2 and then stealing 1.
And the final that time was 7-4 Ontario in the round robin.
In the house. Come on, hurry.
Yeah, you can't be short here. Not with a 3-0 lead.
Sweepers are really leaning on those brushes.
Oh.
Now,
This is a complete surprise.
this is amazing to us, I think. I think we've just seen Heather play so much, and they do play that come-around game so well. I can't remember the last time Heather's peeled like this.
Second, Diane Adams.
Hurry! Hurry!
I think we have to assume that they had a game plan going in to keep it fairly open at the beginning.
But you're down 3-0, and
Whoa, whoa.
Gotta keep the weight normal, man. Yeah. Be quite so
Got a
careful.
terrific beginning for Heather Houston's rink from Fort William Curling Club in Thunder Bay.
there are a lot of critters, competitive critters, I'm sure, across the country that will think that's probably the best thing that Diane could have done was miss it.
Except that Ontario can come around it, and
Yeah,
that's
I
what
know,
they're trying.
But even if she hits it in the sticks, Ontario can come around it. It's a rock and play here now.
Wait's there.
Ontario wants to keep this one high in the house.
Just cleaning. I'm just cleaning.
Well, it's a nice line on the shot, but the shot is too deep. Heather can draw to it now, and it's going to encourage her to do that.
I think it's a shot that works for Team Canada. I mean, I think that even though the guard is protecting the forefoot, I know that Heather didn't want to get the forefoot closed up. At least she just can't afford to have another point stolen. But you are down 3-0, and you've got to generate some rocks in play, and the front rocks will do that. This is a chance now for Diane Adams to get in behind this top of the forefoot. If she does so, then she'll be in good position.
She's got good line. It's like a good shot.
If you leave this now, just get it in for shot rock and leave it. That's a great shot, and it's actually set up by a miss that she made earlier. I mean, I was really surprised. I think you were too, Linda, at Heather's call when she went to hit that stone, you know.
Shot rock belongs to Team Canada now as Kristen Turcotte slides down the ice.
Backline weight.
Ontario's just going to try and tap this. Obviously, if they overcurl, that is their guard in front of the rings, and it'll just spill it over and open up the house a bit.
The thing you don't want to do here is miss it on the wide side. Good shot by Diane. Pretty good
Where
weight.
is it? Whoa, room.
You like it?
It's a great line, I'll tell you, with super weight.
I think she'll like it.
Good shot.
That's a terrific shot.
It came to play tonight.
These opportunities don't come around all that often, do they? When you get a chance to make it to the final.
We can see what Heather's doing here. She's playing the hit and roll. She wants to hit this rock and try and roll over in front of the stone that's in behind the guard. The other alternative, of course, is just to draw yourself to the same spot that Diane put her first one. Her second one, I should say.
This one's over curling. They had a little bit of trouble in the first end in that spot as well.
The trouble with playing that shot, John, is that if you don't get the roll, if you get the situation, even if you get this situation, granted, if you hit it in the stick and then with a 3-0 lead, Alison Goring's going to remove it and hope to get the roll herself. But the trouble with playing that, if you don't make it, now all of a sudden, Alison Goring with Kristen Turcotte's last stone can go around this guard to the top of the 8-foot, and boy, is this end set up fantastic. I kind of think that maybe ignoring those two stones that sat back there and playing the draw yourself, the identical draw that Diane Adams played, may have been the better call.
Is Kristen Turcotte looking for the 4-foot?
The key is not to be deep.
Not
If she
to be
piles
deep.
them both at the back of the house, Heather will just draw to it.
Front of the 4.
anywhere short. Top 8, even top 12, Linda. Just not deep.
It's going to come a little bit too far, I think. Even a biter, perhaps, wouldn't have been a bad
No,
shot.
right, I agree. Team Canada's fortunate here. If they, Lorraine Lang has got to make a good shot, but at least they have a little chance now.
Okay, we gotta be shot.
3-0 Ontario leading Team Canada, and it's early. We're in the third end. Lorraine Lang for Team Canada.
Wait on, Lee.
Lots of weight.
Wait on, Lee.
She said she had to be shot. They don't want to give Ontario a chance to guard again. Looks like the line's good.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's a great shot by Lorraine.
Little nudge.
You see, John, the opportunity was there for Lorraine because the stone by Kristen stepped too far. Had, as Linda mentioned, had her stone stopped at the top 12 even, or the top 8, then that shot isn't there for Lorraine. The deuce would be big here for the girls from Thunder Bay.
Allison, how about this?
Heather Houston trying to defend
No, we should throw
here
those
in
out.
Ottawa this week.
This
She's
is
won the
good.
title 2 years in a row.
Let's talk about this, Linda.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a good one because the first call was the
that good?
tap back.
What, John, what Kristen Turcotte communicated to Allison Goring from the other end was that, why don't we just draw to it? If we sit on top of it, how is she going to get her 2 points? And if you just move it an inch or two, you may be shot yourself, and there's no way she can get it out. But if you play the tap back and you don't hit it properly, she can sit on top of her own and maybe score a possible 3.
Okay, go then. It's got to be here. Hurry.
She wants to stay in front of it.
Whoa. Just wait. Yep, got to be
It's
here.
got to curl a little
Gotta be
bit.
here. Line's good. Line's good. Right down. Hurry. Watch it. Up 9. Yep, yep.
And they get it there.
Oh, what a nice shot.
Great shot.
Frozen.
She is playing so well. She's at 100% after the 2 wins, and I'd call that a pretty good start to the third end.
You'd like to put her up a little bit, over 100%, right?
What I like about
110.
that, Linda, is Kristen Turcotte. I mean, she just called a great shot, and Allison Goring came down to this end playing the tap back, and Kristen yelled down to her.
You can't put it right here because then we don't have that.
Which way?
I don't understand what you're talking about. You gotta put it here. Oh, out here? Okay. Yeah. You got if you're biting the center line with this like the far side of the rock, you still got the 4th foot.
You'd be drawing to a couple inches. Kristen Turcotte yelled down to her, let's play the draw. Just draw to the face of it, and if she conceded her the 1 point. What Heather's going to do here is just play the guard.
I play the guard on it. Yeah. Play the guard on it, and then what we want to do. No, then we have to hit the pin around the red one. Where we want this is just about on the center line. Okay, just maybe even biting the center line with the inside of the rock. 24.
Heather doesn't really have a choice. She has to protect the
Yeah, she
rock
sure
in the
does.
rings because of the way those rocks are frozen.
Whoa. Whoa.
Line's all right. Whoa, easy. Yep, a little bit. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's what she wanted.
So what's left for Allison?
Concede a point, I think. Just block off the draw. That's what she's going to do.
A little bit more.
I mean, Allison Goring is very,
was
very
there.
satisfied
Okay.
to hold Heather Houston to a single
Give me
point
the
here.
Edge of the 8.
Gets the hammer back and a 3-1 lead, if that's the case. Right now, 3-0 Ontario
block
leading
it up.
Canada. Good
Hard to
starts.
get shot in there now.
The skip from the Bayview Club in Toronto.
Well, there. Yeah.
tough deuce. No, I know, but like, you gotta score a point here. At least, eh? What else do you think we should do?
You had nothing else, Heather.
No, you'd love to manufacture two, but I don't see where it would have come from.
Heather was right.
Line's good. Whoa, whoa for line. Just over.
Whoa for line. Whoa for line.
Yep. Yeah, get over. Get over. Whoa. Okay.
That's where she wanted it. I don't see much of the button from here.
Even Heather Houdini can't get two here.
That's what they're calling her in the paper. She
That's right.
had a little luck this week. Did Heather Houston?
You have to
Well,
have
there's no
John,
room in the
believe
middle,
me.
no. There's a room on the outside? There's no chance. Because the best you're going to do is this, eh?
Final game against Quebec, though, there was a little
No,
more than
there's
luck.
no
A couple of
entry
extra ends there. One on a miss.
Throw a draw?
Well, she got the break she needed in the
Well, we'll try this one. I know. I just
10th end, and then she
hair that
played a
one,
great
if it
extra
finishes.
end.
The problem is we're out that little bit further. It's not going to finish, eh? You know what I mean?
Well, they're having a look at it, but I don't know what she's going to play.
If we hear the guard, we might have it here, right? If we hear the guard, it's got to do a lot of curling past the guard. I don't think it's there, but we gotta just get by the guard.
Interesting to watch the time clocks tonight when there's an awful lot at stake. And there will be a few more discussions as we go along. There's a 75-minute time limit on each team to get all the rocks in and
Lots of
10
room,
ends.
guys. Whoa, whoa, you gotta leave it. Whoa, no line, no line. Doesn't matter, guys, if there's no line.
Don't worry about it.
No, I don't even think it was there,
Forget
as
that
Heather
one.
said.
The shot wasn't there.
Yellow?
Canada does pick up one.
Great call by Kristen Turcotte.
Ontario's lead cut to a pair now. Fourth end coming up on day 7 of the 1990 Scott. Back live at the Civic Centre in Ottawa, Ontario. Ontario and Team Canada in a showdown heading toward the final tomorrow afternoon. 3-1. Allison Goring leading Heather Houston as we begin the fourth end now.
And we begin with nothing in play. Ontario taking off the center line guard that Heather Houston's team put up. Let's see what she does on this one.
Well, she's in good position. She's got
Same
a
way.
2-point lead, control of the game. She's got the hammer playing this fourth end. Going back to the last end, Linda, it was an excellent call by Kristen Turcotte, as I mentioned, to get Allison Goring to play that freeze. And Allison made just a terrific shot.
She's playing very, very well. Just those hits and rolls, those are so exacting and so tough to make, and she's made one of those and a freeze. Oh, Scotty's little softy.
Pal of yours.
Yeah. Bringing out the Scotties.
You don't suppose that's Victor in there, do you?
I don't
Linda?
know. He's been missing in action for a while.
He needed a lot of those Scotty's little softies this week, but medical report is in, folks. Vic is okay, ready to hit the Briar in Sault
Right up,
Ste. Marie.
guys. Right up hard.
And our coverage begins on Sunday. The opening ceremonies at 1:30 from the Sioux.
From the Sioux.
And you're big in the Sioux, Ray.
Sweet City Sioux.
They can hardly wait for you to hit town.
Linda and I spent a terrific weekend there. We had a clinic there in the fall. It was been a fabulous day.
Right up.
A lot of young curling enthusiasts.
You can tell how hard the Ontario team's working. They're just brushing very hard. They're wanting this so badly. You can almost feel it every time they throw a rock.
Full value for a 3-1 advantage so far.
on Heather Houston and Team Canada.
Well, it's funny how the game develops, John. It's, you know, a single hit, missed on a hit in the first end and allowed Ontario to get that extra point. 2-0 lead, and a great hit and roll by Allison Goring set up the steal of one in the second end. And
has to be a real confidence builder, Linda, when you're playing the world champion, two-time defending champion, to get a bit of a start.
Just bring him in a little bit tighter, eh, guys?
Really is important.
Yeah, I think that was really important for Allison.
nice start.
Yeah, but she seemed very confident before the game.
Yep. 3. All the way 3. Right up. 3.
That's one thing this front end does very well. Cheryl McPherson and Andrea Laws all week long. Linda, they've been able to peel rocks, keep things fairly wide open.
Just 2 stones in play. Team Canada third, Lorraine Lang.
Line's good. Have a look. Have a look.
Shots, guys.
Nothing in the house, but something out there to come around. That Yellowstone just in front of the 12, just left of center line. Kristen Turcotte, the Ontario third.
Yep.
And all Team Canada needs is one of these nose hits on the front rock, and they'll go around that guard.
All the way, hurry. Right up. Right up. Take it, Andrew, take it. Shot.
So far, it's perfect peels. And those are tough shots. That may look easy for everybody watching, but that's tough to consistently keep rolling those away.
It's tough to line them all up in a row like that too, isn't it, Lyndon?
Yeah.
Make it look so pretty.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with this one now. You don't want to be too long on it.
Line's all right. Easy.
Put a foot in front of the rings would be perfect.
Right here. Yep.
The reason I say that, John, is if you just dropped it over the hog line or something, you might find Allison go in behind it and with the advantage of last rock in this end and set up the possibility of scoring 2.
If they play this fairly thin, they might be able to get a little
Queen,
raise on their own
queen.
stones on that side. I think
Yeah,
that's why
we
she
know.
keeps playing this turn, too. There's a chance.
Hurry.
She could just come off this stone right here and catch the back of her own right there.
Or will it stay? A bit too hard, but that's what they were trying.
Good eye, Linda. Absolutely. And that's why she was playing that turn.
That's right.
Just a little too much on the kick back.
Yeah, I know.
Just about perfect contact though, wasn't it?
It was a good call by Linda here, John. It's exactly what she was trying. You catch this stone, come across, catch the back half of your own, try and push it in the rings. It just hits it a little too hard. Otherwise, she's going to end up with the rock in the 12-foot behind the corner guards.
Right. A little more of the rock that she was trying to hit on center line, and it wouldn't have hit it quite so hard through the house.
Down to Skip's rocks now.
The interesting part about that, John, just so we can just go on one step further, is you don't really call those shots, but you know they're there, and you play the turn for that reason. But you're not, you're not calling that shot out clear. But they're always there, and you're watching for them.
Where is it? Is it in?
Oh, line.
It's in. Bring it back. Whoa. Come on.
You called for it short, but the sweepers are saying it's in the rings.
Whoa, guys.
Lorraine asked them to bring it back, but I think it's going to stop in the 4-foot. And a big hit and roll here would make things happen for Ontario.
Get in behind those corner guards.
Darn it all.
Out to the left. Ontario's Allison Goring has last rock here in the 4th end.
Kristen, a little more.
Okay.
Chance at the championship on the line here tonight in the semifinal of the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
Well, it's the first step towards Västerås, Sweden in the World Championships.
Yep.
Heather Rankin and the girls from Nova Scotia out waiting.
Okay.
Well, they didn't go for the roll. They just decided to try and hit and stick. It's a good shot. She might have a better chance for her two next end.
Final rock for Team Canada skip Heather Houston.
Heather switched to the in turn. Team Canada doesn't really favor a turn, whereas Ontario does prefer the out turn if they have a choice.
Well,
Close. Yep.
They wouldn't mind to roll a little bit and change the shot.
move it off.
One rock to come.
Alison Goring with her out turn now. As Linda mentioned, John, girls from Ontario prefer to throw the out turn if they have the choice, and here they obviously have the choice, and so she goes to the other turn.
And she's looking for a blank. They'd like to have last rock in the fifth.
And she's at 100%.
Sometimes you shouldn't say that.
Yep. 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 Hurry. Whoa. Whoa. Yes. Yep. Yes. Hurry. All the way. Yep. 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 Clean.
She's got the blank.
Great shot.
Remaining right on 100%, Alison Goring of Ontario. She blanks the fourth and hangs on to a 2-point lead. Smile. Some curlers up there, including Michelle Schneider, top left of your screen. What could have been last night, Linda. Had she won last night over Alberta, she still had a chance to be here.
It was a bit of a heartbreaker for them.
Well, the trend has continued here, John. Obviously, Heather Houston, without the advantage of last rock, is going to have to steal some points. She's been throwing up the centerline guards. And as we mentioned earlier, this team from Southern Ontario, they play these splits, these spills very, very well, and they've just been running them off. And she's got that 2-point lead and the advantage of the hammer, and she's quite happy to play up and down the sheet.
And I know it's not true, but you'd almost think this game was on tape, because the round-robin game so far after 4 ends was exactly the same scoring-wise.
Interesting note. You like that mathematics stuff, though, don't
I do, yes.
We are definitely live here tonight, though.
We are live.
Live and lively. Team Canada second, Diane Adams.
I know Ontario hopes the result's the same from the round-robin. In the fifth end, Ontario had their 2 in the round-robin. We'll see if they have a chance in this fifth end.
Right up. Right up hard.
It's interesting, Linda, how important the flip of the coin can be. You know, Lorraine Lang turns an in-turn over, and they get a miss, and Alison Goring gets 2 points. The advantage of last rock.
Ontario second, Andrea Laws now. We mentioned the top percentage second in this championship all week.
Clean.
79% of her shots have been right.
And another one's going to go right here, John.
She's at 84% after 4 ends. She looks so solid, too. It's her first national, and she just looks very composed out there.
First Scott tournament for the Goring team, but they have been around, at least certain members, 3 members of the team have been around the national championships at the junior level and been winners there.
Line's good.
Team Canada's getting their guard weight, that's for
Far as
sure.
it'll
They
come.
played a lot of
Far
guards
as
in the
it'll
last
come.
few ends.
Heather has a big hello to Jamie and Lindsay and Christopher in Red Rock, and I'm sure that Jamie, Lindsay, and Christopher are sitting there with their fingers,
Yes.
knees, and toes crossed right now.
3.
As Heather Houston's got herself in a little bit of a hole.
Right up. Come on.
Andrea put that one in a little bit.
Yep.
Well, a little action. 4 foot still open, but that covers a corner of it, Linda.
Heather's taking a look at it, trying to decide if she could come in right away or put up the guard. And she's sort of doing the halfway one. Tight guard, curling off center just a little bit.
This is one of those shots, anything but long.
That's right.
Lorraine Lang will try and make it for Team Canada.
Here, guys. Line's good. Yep. Right past it.
Let's watch for the movement here if we can.
Get it past. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Snuggles in.
Or do you want to? Going on the side. Oh, you might spin that one back. Yeah.
They were trying to see if they
that's
could remove both the guards with one shot, and I think they've decided it's not really possible.
This is a good aggressive call. We can't get them both out of there.
There's a
Let's
double there, like you could spin theirs. Yeah, that's so just side by side. Yeah. Yep.
Another vital one weight-wise. Kristen has to be in front of the tee line or she throws it back to Heather Houston's team.
Where's it? Yep. Yep.
Hurry.
don't think about these aggressive calls. You have to make them, John.
Room. Room.
But she hasn't missed so very much so far.
Room.
They want to play it tight.
Yep. Line's good. Yep. Right back. Come on.
Hurry. Hurry.
This is a great looking shot.
Hurry.
Yeah, good shot.
Bring it a little more.
A little bit further would have been perfect, but it's half buried in front of the tee line. That's good shooting.
Lorraine Lang now
That's
looking
what
it over.
That's what it is, half buried. The weight indication. Big shot here. If she can hit this and roll to the outside and force Allison to play the hit on the edge of the 12-foot or something and maybe get a roll out, she can get in there herself. But you've got to make this one here.
Close.
They're throwing nice controlled takeout weight.
Right off.
She's got it well out there.
Takes its time, but it really curls once it starts getting close to center. Here it comes.
She's got a piece of it.
Got a good piece. I
Good
think.
shot. It was all weight, you're right, and that was a weight shot all the way, and it's a good roll. It forces Allison Goring to go out to the edge of the 12-foot, and the important thing here for Kristen Turcotte is to hit and stick. Don't give Heather Houston the chance to play that come-around draw to the 4-foot. You must stick here.
Kristen has a long way to roll. They don't want to roll it just halfway. That gives Heather Houston a chance to roll behind the guard.
Hurry. Hard. Hurry. 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 Clean. Whoa. Whoa.
That's good curling, Linda, isn't it? You can't say anything more about it, but it's just terrific curling. You roll out in that spot, you give Heather Houston that come-around draw. Changes the whole end around.
Down to Skips Rocks now.
Full.
Last one belongs to Allison Goring. Here in the 5th,
Feels like afternoon.
she hangs on to a 3-1 lead.
I feel like night.
No curling in the morning, no curling in the afternoon.
Just
No
the
wonder it
time,
feels like
about
afternoon, and
3 or
it's
4 rather than.
coming
That
up on 9 o'clock Eastern.
That does make it a little tough. You get out of the routine of the round robin.
Well, you missed your hair appointment today. We just haven't been the same, have we?
No.
Had a chance for lunch. It was something different.
Beautiful banquet
Whoa!
Never.
today at
Right
the
off.
Ottawa Hunt Club.
Heather was full, but it should curl.
Wanted the roll.
Well, she wanted to stick for sure. She lets
Actually,
Allison
I
Goring
didn't throw
down.
that one out. Maybe a bit positive, but not bad. Right.
Heather's kind of shaking her head. She's feeling like she's letting those go fairly well, and she's had several runs straighter. It could be just a weight shot, or she could maybe start it out a little bit, and it just doesn't get back to the swing path fast enough.
This took a while, but it did come.
What Linda means by that, John, is that just as you're releasing the stone, you kind of put it back a little bit, and it slides for a while, and then it starts its natural movement, and just stays a little longer than you desire, and they run a little straighter on you.
Lots of room.
She doesn't want to be deep.
Yep.
It has room.
Well, she hasn't missed anything to this point. Depends on her weight here, John.
It's a little.
They want it to stop.
Come on, Lorraine. Right back.
We're a little bit too deep.
Just a little deep.
Final stone, fifth end now for Team Canada skip Heather Houston, down 3-1. Ontario has the hammer.
Let that one run.
24, Linda.
Very keen down the center.
Heather's missed a couple.
This could really swing things around if she makes it really well. She can go for the chance for the steal, or at least just give them one.
Can't give up 2 at this stage. Now, there's lots of late movement here.
Wait only. Yep. Yep. Hurry. Hurry. Hurry, guys. Hurry. Hurry.
She's got a nice line.
Hurry. 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 Come on. Hurry. Hurry. Hurry.
She get it by? Yes. Just a little nudge.
I think she's
it's
light, Linda.
Yes. The line was nice. If it had the weight, it would have been perfectly on top of the other stone.
Another opportunity for Allison Goring now, leading 3-1. Sitting with one biter in the forefoot. Chance for 2.
And this is a very big point.
We need close to 8. She's just, yeah. So I'll feel the same weight. Should be good.
She can throw the same weight. That was
Line's
4-foot
good,
weight.
line's
She just
good.
needs a piece of the 8-foot. She moved out a little bit
8-foot,
further. It could be a bit
come on.
heavier.
Yep. Yep. Hurry.
They wanted to get 8-foot.
Good brushing, boy.
Keep sweeping.
Good shot.
That's for 2. Allison Goring from Ontario takes control. Sharp shooting from Kristen Turcotte and the skip herself. It is 5-1 heading to the 6th. Earlier tonight they announced the All-Stars for the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
And at lead is Laurie Keller of Saskatchewan, and she curled 75%. That's a great average.
She had a great week.
She sure did. Her and Tracy Kennedy were so close in the numbers, and Laurie has the ability to throw that big weight.
Presentations made by Bob Stewart, President, CEO Scott Paper. Here's your number 1 second this week.
Andrea Laws, and she was just fabulous all week, John, and rightly so the All-Star second.
Barb Foster, the Canadian Ladies Curling Association president, also handed out some of the awards. Here's the All-Star third, Jackie Ray Green.
It was the Alberta third, and she did have a tremendous week. Alberta pulled the big upset at the end of the week playing Saskatchewan, but Jackie Ray broke 75% and was a happy gal with that award.
I think Jackie Ray Greening was the happiest of them all, wasn't she?
I think they're all pretty happy, John.
And may I have the envelope, please? The All-Star skip at the Scott Tournament of Hearts 1990 is the leader through the round robin.
Yes, sir. Miss Animation herself, Heather Rankin, and rightly so. She was tremendous all week. She made the big shot. She gave the fans something to cheer about. From Nova Scotia, Heather Rankin. And she'll be there tomorrow, Linda.
She will be, and you're right. She made those big, big shots.
1990 Scott Tournament All-Star. Bob Stewart congratulating everyone who won. He's the president and CEO of Scott Paper. Happy faces there. Happy faces on the Ontario curlers here with a 5-1 lead on Team Canada. A duplicate of the round robin meeting between these two teams. They have scored exactly the same way as they did in the round robin when Ontario won 7-4. It could be a bad omen, Ray?
It certainly looks that way,
It's a
John.
tough start to the game, that's for sure. And look at Ontario's confidence. They just threw their first rock of the sixth end through the house. They're saying we can keep this house perfectly clean and keep our 4-point lead.
Well, they certainly have vindicated,
Mine's good,
you know, in this game and in
Mine's good.
previous games, Linda, that they do split and spill rocks very, very well. So Heather Houston has really got her work cut out to get back in this game. It can happen. We've seen it happen this week. There's 5 ends to go, but you really got to get going.
Ontario lead Cheryl McPherson is a textbook production supervisor, an '83 Canadian junior curling champion as well, '87 provincial mixed champion.
Of course, Ray, if you don't feel your team can peel this well, a lot of teams will put their first rock when they don't have last rock with a lead at the top of the 4-foot, and that kind of says, if things don't go right with the peeling, I can come back to my game in the center of the sheet.
Tracy Kennedy, the #1 lead in this competition percentage-wise this week. She's a homemaker and a mom to 3-year-old Lisa, a member of the defending champions and world champions.
Heather will try the other side of the ice. It's Tracy's out turn.
And certainly don't count this team out. We've seen comeback, and you have to get back into this. The sixth end is so pivotal in these games.
Hurry hard. Hurry. Clean.
She's playing at this outside in again.
They're doing it well.
You bet. I think Heather will go now with Lorraine's last shot.
Shot. Thanks.
There she goes, John. The out-turn draw. Now, if my memory serves me, and it has been going.
Yes, we've noticed that.
We haven't seen a lot of these out-turn draws over here. We see them a little bit wider, so it'll be interesting to see how they come off the center line. Linda?
Yep.
It's making a move now.
Hurry. Hurry.
Short doesn't hurt them.
Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Shot, Lorraine.
Ha! Decision time, says
Shot.
Allison Goring for her first shot. Should we get them out of there? Get them all?
That's not bad. Play the peel this way, and this one might rub in even.
Yeah, but as long as we don't jam it on the side.
Well, we're trying to peel anyway, so we're trying to get it that way. What do you think? Would you rather go in?
I'd rather go in. Kristen, if we jam it in, like say it does curl and it hits
pretty-
there.
Well,
It's
we'll
gonna
let
go
it
in.
curl, and
Yeah, but it might not go with that weight.
well, I mean, you've been throwing them well.
Yeah, but why not beat her to it?
I think we should peel, but whatever you want to do.
I hate it when they throw it back to the skip. Skip, it's your decision.
You can go
What do
right
you guys
now. We'll
wanna do?
explain what they're talking about.
We're going to throw it over to our skip, and you can draw some pretty pictures here.
You want to peel it? Or the only thing is we could jam it in.
I know. I would go in. Let's go in and beat her to a top 8 foot.
Well, you can see their concern, John.
Okay.
In peeling it off, they're afraid to jam it in.
Okay, 2 choices that they talked about.
A little more.
The one they're going with is the draw.
She was here.
They're trying to come around this guard and sit into the top of the 8-foot. The call that they discussed is the hit, and they would have to hit this on the outside, hope to hit this one back on here, and spill both of the rocks away and to the corners. But Kristen was worried about hitting that yellow one into the rings if they hit it too solid.
No.
Kristen kind of leaned a little bit towards the spill at first, I thought, and then Allison said, no, if we jam it onto the back red one, it could spin the Team Canada stone into the rings. Now she's drawing to lie 2, so let's go in first, and that's exactly what she's going to do, is put it to her first.
Yep. Yes. Yep. Hurry.
That was the danger in Lorraine Lang coming up short to give...
Hurry hard. Hurry. Hurry.
This one looks like it's not going to get by, perhaps.
Hurry.
A little bit light as well. But at least it rolled over and covered part of the 4-foot where it forces Heather Houston a little bit wider.
You gotta be real high because this one might not move, eh? Yeah, but this is where I threw that one that ran dead straight.
Heather Houston will have to get it out there to bring it back around that cluster.
Well, to win curling games, Linda, you have to make big shots. And Heather Houston has had a habit over the last 2 years of making the big shots. Now, if she can sock this one around that long center guard.
Heather Houston has been here a time or two before, and she has never really made it very easy on herself, winning the last 2 years. Under the gun, here's what she sees right now, and due for a big shot.
She talked about how in the second end her rock, actually it wasn't a draw, it was more like a tap back, ran very straight, and that's what they're using to broom themselves. Allison's rock curled a fair amount.
Hurry. Hurry. Come on.
They want to get it by. It's on the front one, I think.
Hurry.
Very, very close. Unfortunately, it didn't roll into the rings either, and Allison has a chance here to get one in.
Just a little light, I think, Linda, because Diane Adams was on it immediately, and they were saying, you know, the line's okay at first, but Diane was brushing like crazy. So obviously, she, you know, her judgment came very quickly, and she felt it needed brushing, and so obviously it was just a little light to start with.
It's 3 rocks that were a little light in a row. We'll just keep an eye on that spot.
No, we're going to go around. Yeah.
Allison could have played the tap on her own, but she's played this path. She knows how it'll react.
Yeah, so I just need a little more.
Just playing the
It goes
draw.
hard though, so.
Room. Lots of room. Where is it?
Close.
Still got room.
Close.
Still lots of room.
This one hasn't quite caught the swing.
Yep. We got to bury. Got to bury.
Trying to bury it. Going a little too deep.
You think that Andrea Laws can't brush?
She's great, and of course the reason they brought it back is they're hoping to bury it so Heather can't hit and roll out. They want Heather to take her point so that they can maybe be more aggressive the next end and really take control of the game.
5-1 is not in control.
It's looking pretty good, but you never feel very confident until you've got about 9 more than the other team.
And Allison has a couple of experiences this week where she didn't have enough points up on the board and lost in the 10th.
Final stone of the 6th from Heather Houston.
Close. Yep.
Better brush it a bit, I think, Linda.
Hurry! Hurry! Hurry!
Well, that's a good one.
It is a good one. I thought they were a little bit casual in their brushing because once you're on the backstone, you have to bring it a little bit. You can't have it dig in on you. Good shot by Heather.
She narrows the gap a little bit, but there's still a long way to go for the defending champion, Heather Houston of Thunder Bay. Civic Center, we continue our coverage of the semifinal draw, Ontario, Canada. Meeting in the Scott Tournament of Hearts semifinal with Ontario out in front, 5-2. When it's over, we'll bring you the TSN Turning Points, brought to you by Butterball. A little trouble brewing for the defending champion, Heather Houston from Thunder Bay, down by 3. And not at her best tonight, at least so far.
Well, there's nothing in play, John, and the pattern is one that you see so often, and the right one, of course, where the team down 3 points here in the 7th end, in this case Team Canada, Heather Houston and the girls from the Fort William Curling Club have to try and get something going for themselves, so they'll throw up those centerline guards, rocks out in front of the rings on the center line in an attempt to get some rocks in play. But as has been the case in this particular game, Allison Goring and her team from Southern Ontario.
Well, they've just been curling extremely well.
Been hitting everything in sight.
Lead through Skip. Allison, 90%.
Andrea Laws.
Nope.
She's been hitting on 79% of her shots tonight.
Yep. Queen. Queen. Yep. Right.
There's another one.
Everything is just exacting with Ontario. It just looks like some nights things happen so well. The sweeping is great. The communication is great. Looks like they might have had a little talk and said, let's just go out and play our game.
Playing with some enthusiasm, too.
I would hope.
Well, that's evident, at least.
Big carrot at the end of this one, John. Chance to go into the final and get a shot at representing your country. Those kind of opportunities don't just come along all the time, do they, Linda? You have to work hard for them.
That's right.
Win 2 in a row, that's an all-expenses-paid trip with you to Sweden. I mean, that would be enough to make them want to win.
Västra Sweden, right on.
You'll be there for the Worlds. And you're not looking forward to that much, are you?
No, I've spent a lot of time in Sweden. I'm really looking forward to going back. I haven't been for a couple of years.
Yep.
And that was the country in which my team captured the world title in 1985, so it would be nice for us to go back.
There's the nose hit. Andrea not happy with that.
Family and friends here for all rinks tonight. White sweater, Allison Goring's mother there. Nervously watching.
She's not biting her nails yet anyway.
Lots of room.
Wow. Yep. Yep.
This is what Ontario doesn't want to let Team Canada do very much, though.
Room.
You've got to try and keep the front open.
High, 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 high. Leave it high.
Good looking shot.
Want to keep it high in the house. Almost totally covered. Lorraine Lang delivers a big shot for Team Canada.
Well, Ray, do you play the run through or just try to remove the guard?
Well, I think with the 5-2 lead, you try and get the guard off of there, Linda. You know, I mean, should put it up again on you, but
You can try it maybe later, though, if you have to. I agree that it's only third's first rock.
because if you just miss the back one and leave the guard there, then the situation can really get ugly on you.
Hurry hard! Hurry! Hard! Wow! Wow!
There's the run through, almost. Good shot.
What do we know anyway? It was
Well,
a
no,
good
it was
shot.
a good call by
Yeah.
at the head, the other head, but if you just missed that back one by a fraction of an inch, now the whole end turns on you.
If they hit it any thinner on the outside, it would have stayed in front of the rings and missed that back rock.
And the simple fact that they were brushing that all the way, Linda, I think is, you know, indicates to me that they were trying to just make sure they got the guard off, and they got the
Got room.
best of both worlds there.
Got room. Yep, yep.
There's a big late movement here.
Room.
It's like Lorraine's going to put
Wait for
another
it.
great one in there.
Yep.
She's got this shot down pat.
That's 2 in a row for Lorraine Lang. Well, looks even better than the first one.
Other than that, you know, the big hit that she missed in the first end, John, you know, Lorraine Lang, who I mentioned before the show started, was the key to this game. She had to come up with those big shots, and she's made a couple great draws here. She'd love to have that in-turn hit back, though, I bet, Linda.
Don't play it tight.
Yeah, play it
Halfway.
tight.
It's a big point right now. I'm not sure I'd be doing this with my third's last rock. She's playing the hack weight takeout. That rock looks almost completely buried. I'd be tempted to take off the guard and say, you make a great guard, and then if things don't work out, I might try something a little bit softer later.
Ontario third, Kristen Turcotte in the hack. Hitting on 83% of her shots so far this evening.
Yep.
Well, Linda,
Hurry. Yep. Yep. Whoa, whoa,
They want to get something off.
whoa.
can't miss it on the wide side.
Coming now, but
Can't miss
maybe
it on
not
the wide
enough.
side.
That just gives them such a great chance to block off the front. I've seen that so many times, though. If you don't play the big weight on the front, you play that in-between weight. It happens so often that you miss both rocks.
Down to Skip's rocks now. Opportunity for Heather Houston, who will throw first to build up a little something and set up steal in the 7th.
The guard weight's 24, eh? It's just not quite as quick as it was at the beginning of the game, eh? Okay. All right.
Familiar hack positioning, brush positioning we've seen for 2 years. She referred to the guard weight being 24. They want this stone out in front of the rings.
Line's all right.
A little protection for a pretty nice shot rock right now.
She can't go into the rings.
Whoa.
Has to curl a lot if it's
Now you
going
should
to
take
come
it, maybe.
in. Try and bury it.
Too deep. It's too deep, Linda.
Double possibility there. The overview.
I think that, you know, this is a terrific. This game has been a terrific example of little things in curling. That, you know, the little mistakes in curling, just the tiny ones. You know, that that rock is too deep. It gives Allison Goring a good chance at running them both out of there.
Son of a gun.
If you're going to go in there, of course, you're going to take less ice and try and freeze to the face of your own and go right in behind the guard. But this is wide open. It's an in-turn takeout, and she is hot.
Curling 90% tonight. Can't get much hotter than that.
She throws this big weight very well.
Hurry, hard. All the way, hard.
Might over curl a little bit. Oh, yes, it did, just
Ooh.
a little bit.
Well, Heather got away with a mistake, and we'll just see if she can capitalize here.
Houston's final stone coming up. Team Canada trailing Ontario 5-2 with 2 rocks to go in the 7th.
Don't go home, folks. Or stay at home. Stay at home, folks. Never mind.
You see, this is television, and we try and get them to sit down and watch us.
Well, after our little Just trying to listen to Heather here.
She's just trying to block off the 4-foot. If she does it, then the only shot that Ontario has is the double raise, I think.
Line's all right.
Now this rock is just biting the 4-foot.
Whoa.
Can you duck it behind this one, Linda? It's going to be too long.
I think they just called it flat out right in that position.
Settle for a steal of 1 if Goring can't make her shot.
Well, it curled enough that she can see a bit of the 4-foot on the outside, so she could just play the cold draw.
Here's a good look at it, and Alison Goring has got to bite the 4-foot, a couple inches into the 4-foot. She can pick up her single.
Well, she was here. No, but where did that one of mine end up? Well, it might be current at one by now. I just think we should.
Just give me outside. No, just there, yeah.
There is a little bit of a spot on this ice where you get into the 12-foot and it runs very straight.
I think it'll be a little bit
Oh no, it goes here.
slower out there, Linda.
I think so. She'd have to add a little bit compared to where if she was throwing down the center line, it would be very fast.
She's been playing very well.
Only one in there. It's not, you know.
It's really not the end of the world for Goring here right now to give up 1. You hear her saying that?
No, but psychologically it'd be a big steal for Team Canada.
Yep. Line. All around. Whoa. Round.
In reverse of that, it would be a great shot. A good shot here would
be a boost.
For weight. Just for weight only. Easy.
She's awful close, isn't she?
2-9.
Yes, sir.
Coming in. They want the
Yes, sir.
Great shot.
hot tonight. Ontario's Alison Goring adds another to her total with a great draw to the 4. Ontario has Team Canada in trouble as we continue at the Scott Tournament of Hearts Center in Ottawa as we continue on day 7 of the 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts semi-final action. On the center sheet tonight is Ontario takes on Canada, and Ontario has the best of Team Canada, the defending champions right now, with a 6-2 lead.
That was a very big point. Even though it's just 1 point, like you were saying, Ray, it's the flow of the game too. They're keeping that control and keeping that confidence. That's so important.
That's good.
The first rock this in was pushed, thrown through, and then the next one was a guard thrown up by Team Canada. It was peeled off very nicely. And here's a situation, a corner guard.
Cheryl McPherson is at 92%.
Andrea Laws at 73. After 7 ends, she has been the leader all week.
Three hard. Three.
She's nosed a couple, John, and that happens sometimes.
Even to the best of them, right, Missy?
Here's another. That's absolutely.
You had a couple of noses.
By a nose.
And skips don't have nose hits very often, do they?
Well, they try to when they're in the house, that's for sure. They don't have many chances at the front rocks.
You were talking about peeling yesterday. You like to get a chance to get out there and peel a few off every once in a while.
Well, they got the one corner, Linda, so potentially it sets up the possibility of scoring your extra point. Teams will utilize these corner guards, put them up in front, hoping to eventually try and get in behind them.
2 corner guards means a chance for 3. If you only have 1 up, you have a good chance for 2.
Front end shots are set up to try and put some offense into the game.
Clean.
Andrea Laws delivers.
Yep. Hurry. Clean. Try.
No mistake with this one.
Winner here tonight gets a shot at the championship tomorrow afternoon. Nova Scotia's Heather Rankin is waiting in the wings after a 9-2 week in the round robin.
Heather was here at the beginning of the game, but she's gone home now, and we assume she might be watching it on television, but I know the year we had the bye to the final in 1985, we actually didn't watch any of the game. We waited to hear who the winner was and just went out and played them the next day. And I think it depends on your personality, but for us, we didn't care who it was. We just knew we would have to face 4 curlers, and we didn't want to come here and maybe feel some of that nervousness that is in the arena during the semifinal.
Well, it's one thing to hear that a team, the team played well. It's another thing to watch them play really well.
Especially a few of these Allison Goring shots, the freezes and the hits and rolls to the button.
Can be intimidating, I suppose, if you think about it overnight.
Oh, sure. Especially if she comes up with one, the opposition comes up with a shot like that in the early part of the game. And you get that, it's almost a reflex then that you say, oh no, here she goes again, you know.
She's hot.
Team Canada third. Lorraine Lang. Only 1 rock in play.
Line's good. Line's good. Shots, guys.
Well, if she splits this off, Linda, I'd be tempted to start going in and just kind of change the pattern. You know, you might get a nose hit on the other side and just miss the back one, and might be able to get 2 in behind it. This is this is a path down here that they really know well, and they've spilled everything out here.
Just 1 rock in play. The corner guard right there, right of the center line. Heather Houston lines up behind it.
And Lorraine Lang made 2 tremendous come-arounds the last stand, so if she could put a couple together here, it sets up the possibility of a deuce, and they certainly need it. Down 6-2, playing 8. Team Canada with last rock. Lorraine Lang, her first stone.
Got to cross. Wait, you gotta let it cross. Wait till it crosses.
Her second stone,
Gotta wait for it.
I should say.
Yep.
Has to finish late to get behind that guard.
Went right back behind the tee line now. The reason they want to take that one back, obviously, is to try and get it a little more buried, but also if you get it behind the tee line and they do hit it and stick, then you can come down to the face of it.
Go board.
The rock's exposed, and they have played this path earlier. Goes fairly straight, and then it curls up a little bit at the end.
That one didn't finish really good. Well, it finished pretty good considering where we hit the guard, you know.
Down to Skips Rocks with just 2 others in play. Guard and the Team Canada shot rock.
This is one of those where you have to get something. Rock in the house or guard.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yeah, rolling the other way. Yeah. Yep. Hurry. Yep. All the way. Right up. Right over in here.
She'll like it.
They wanted to roll it
the other way.
You could hear Kristen the third calling out, yes, let's roll the other way. I think Allison was maybe a little bit worried about how very straight it was running in that spot. But this is a good chance for Heather Houston if she gets the roll.
What kind of weight would you play this with, Linda? Would you play it with the very quiet weight so you can control it a little bit, or?
Definitely, they have great sweeping, and you play a little bit less weight, and they can get on it if they have to, or get off it and let it curl out a little bit and get the roll.
Get it out.
I think we'll play together. Maybe the media spiel at the Briar. How does that sound?
But I thought I had to play lead according to all of you guys.
I'm the lead. I've always been a lead.
Okay.
And the team that I skipped in the provincial mix will tell you that. John and Kathy Isaac and my wife Janie.
Always thinking like a lead, were you?
They wish I was. They were wishing I was the lead.
If we don't hang around on the hit, then
Leads always know where the brooms and brushes are.
That's right, because they have to carry them into the ring.
That's right. Today, so just play the draw, same draw.
For the skip.
Okay. Then we have to get the little tick off it.
Well, this is an interesting call.
Yeah,
they're not only playing it quiet, Ray, they're playing it very quiet. She's just drawing, and if she's saying if it hangs straight, she can get the tick off the red rock.
Can't take anything closer to the center line for ice.
Very, very delicate shot again.
It's been a tough night so far. Heather Houston needs a shot here. 48% after 7. Her first rock of the 8th end.
It's a good call, though. You have to play controlled weight when you're down these many points. Obviously, you need rocks in the rings, but you have to be able to sweep it and try and position it so it makes it tough on Ontario. She's got nice line.
Yep.
How's the weight? That just, you know, that it's just about 6 inches too far.
Where do you want to go? Do you want
The
to
line
bump it
was
back?
perfect. Now, here's an interesting spot, too, for Allison.
Yeah, but if we go here too,
You just have to be full.
set up a double.
Full 8 foot there. Well, that's not much of a double.
They're saying
That's
best
a good
guard is
spot.
second shot, but the guard is also a possibility.
Could play the guard. The two options are to draw in for second shot or to play the guard.
Okay, here. You wouldn't want it here, but here. Team line's good.
Okay.
What do you think? Right there?
They work well together, don't they, Linda?
They talk about the options, and that's always important.
Yeah,
You shouldn't talk your skip out of a shot, but you should just say, here's what we could play. This is another
Gotta
option.
be full 8 foot. At least. T-line would be good.
Anxious times for the defending champions here right now. Down 6-2. Front end watches as Allison Goring throws her final rock of the 8th end.
Make sure it's there.
T-line.
They have to
Line's
get this
good.
into the full 8
T-line.
foot, and they wanted to bring it so that they couldn't.
T-line.
Heather Houston couldn't make an easy double.
She's
Well,
not
I
missing.
think it's here. T-line.
She hasn't missed a thing so far.
It's okay, big
Back
back.
eight's good.
They wanted to bring it
Yep, yep,
behind
yep,
the other
yep,
rock.
Yep, 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 yep. All the way.
It's
Right back.
perfect.
Hard, hard, hard. Keep it.
She just hasn't. They've just been letter perfect. And the thin doubles there, Linda, but it would be a long shot.
Nice weight.
And if you don't make it perfectly,
Yeah,
you're
game's
really
over.
in the hole.
Yeah.
Got the double, but she might jam.
Pressure squarely on Team Canada. Down by 4 in the 8th. And looking at this possibility does not excite Heather Houston and Lorraine Lang right now.
Well, the thin double's there. If you hit it thin enough, you won't jam it on the back one, Linda. You know, it may be one of those times that you have to, have to take a chance with it.
What's the face of that one? You give up.
Let's listen to them.
What do you feel like doing? I'm gonna take the point. I'm gonna try for 2. Yeah?
It'll be an interesting time to check out the
Have to play normal.
time clocks here, with Heather Houston having to take some time in a pressure situation like this to make a
Should
decision.
run it all the way down.
22 minutes 14 seconds remaining for Houston. 25:53 for Goring of Ontario.
She's decided to play the thin double, Linda. It's all or nothing right here. She's
That's
decided.
right. It was a team decision, too. You could see them looking down to the front end, and the front end nodded when she put down the stick, so that's what they're doing. It's important that everybody's into this because this could make them or break them.
Could this be the turning point?
Well, actually, a lot of earlier shots
I think
sure
so.
turned the flow towards Ontario, but this could be the big one.
Well, you see, this could be the turning point,
There's no
getting
guards in.
Team Canada back into the game.
Oh, it'd be a great shot if she could make it, and this lady can make them. She's done it a few times when we've been watching.
It's the game right here, though, Linda.
Yep. Hurry. Hurry.
Going for the double.
Needs the thin double.
Hurry. Hurry, 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 hurry.
She's close. Oh no, the worst that could happen.
Worst possible scenario.
She had to hit just a little bit thinner.
The result, a disaster for Heather Houston as she gives up 2. And that could be too much. 8-2. Ontario leading Team Canada. This is the semifinal in Scott Tournament of Hearts semifinal. Team Canada in trouble against Ontario. 8-2. Allison Goring in the lead now. Team Canada into the 9th end with a passel of problems, down by 6.
That's good.
Well, you hate to use the cliche, John, but it's a game of inches, and in that case, it was a half an inch. Linda, if she hits it half an inch thinner, she's going to come across, she's going to get the double, she's going to score 2 points and give herself a little bit of life. It just, they brushed it all away, they brushed it hard. It just curled a little bit at the end on her, and you saw the results. It was a steal of 2 for Ontario and Allison Goring, and this game is all but toast now.
Andrea Laws of Ontario has been a big star in her first time at a national championship. Made those shots all week. 79% on the week. She's hitting on 78% tonight.
John's got the whole booth up here, hasn't he, Linda? He's got us cornered.
Need lots of room. Have to spread out.
Well, I don't think we can say enough. What a great display of curling this has been by Ontario, and particularly Allison Goring. We said that she had to handle the pressure tonight. She hadn't maybe in a couple of provincials. Tonight, she's just been cool, calm, and collected, and she's thrown the big ones.
And Linda, in fairness to you, you called it right off the top of the show. You had that feeling about Allison, and I felt that Heather would come up with her usual big game, but I concede to you this particular time, Madam Minister.
Linda Moore.
Well, we're not finished yet, but look at another great peel by Ontario. They're just picking everything off.
So the Secretary of Ice deferring to.
That's why I'm the secretary. She's the minister.
The Minister of Curling. We had a little fun with our Ottawa opening tonight for this semifinal. And Ray, we're just a little off, I guess.
I guess so. Oh, well, it's going to happen. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Diane Adams, once again, Ontario trying to get something going, but it's...
Mine's good.
When that rock curled, it was a sick feeling for the girls from Thunder Bay, but what 2 sensational years. I don't think we should forget that, Linda. I mean, they got to the World Championships, they lost it, and they went back and they won it. It says to me, and I really like what Scott have done. I like the fact that the defending champion gets a chance to come back and defend the title, and we get to know the people a little bit better as the years go around. I think we need curlers with reputations and curling fans knowing them, and Heather Houston has been a tremendous champion.
But it is difficult defending a championship at this level when you haven't had the time to play top ranks and get your game in shape like the others have in provincial championships. Is it not?
It is, John, but I still think that I mean, they just they're here, they are in the semifinal, and
okay,
so they've played in this event 3 times. They've won it twice and got to the semifinals. I mean, let's talk about the good record. I mean, let's not talk about the negative record.
And there was our team, as Team Canada, made it to the final. Pat Sanders' team made it to the final. I don't think for most teams it's a problem getting physically prepared. I found mentally it was a little bit tough. I think if we'd been working with a sports psychologist back then, we might have been able to get it together a little bit more. I would have enjoyed that because we had that opportunity with the Olympics to work with Vera Pezer, who was a very fine sports psychologist. And I think Heather Houston's team just couldn't find that edge this week. Last year they wanted to win this and then go on to the World Championships. They wanted to win it because they hadn't the year before. Just struggled a little bit, and as you said though, Ray, they've been a fabulous team to watch and very great representatives for Canada.
And they come out of a hotbed of curling. I'll tell you, you don't see any better curling anywhere in this country of ours than you do in that Thunder Bay area.
You're going to admit that when you come from Winnipeg?
No,
I can't believe you would say
well,
that.
I'm sorry, but it's true. I mean, they just
Jack Matheson will be on the phone. All the guys at the Granite will be writing letters. Ray Turnbull, I don't know.
turncoat, eh?
And please don't send the letters to TSN. Just drop them off to Ray personally in Winnipeg, because we won't be able to handle the flow.
It's a terrific area for curling. The clubs are active. We had the Skins game there, John, a couple years ago, and the fans turned out. It's just a hotbed for curling. That's all it is.
Yep.
We need more areas in our country
Right up.
like that.
Yep. Right up.
Okay.
I guess I didn't mention to you that I am moving to Thunder Bay, opening up a restaurant.
What are you going to call it, Moosey's? Right near the curling club, obviously.
That's right.
Well, a very small glimmer for Team Canada. Allison Goring hit that on the nose, and Heather Houston will try and come around it. But even if she scores her 2, she's 4 down coming home without last rock.
Oh, they're
Lorraine
killing
Lang.
her. Holy smokes.
And she's made some fabulous shots tonight, that Lorraine Lang. Just hasn't all clicked for their team.
Brave smile.
The only shot Lorraine would like to have back is that in-turn hit in the first hand, Linda. She just got it started, and it happens to everyone, but
Down 2-0 in the first. 3-0 after 2, and a couple of singles is all Heather has been able to manage so far tonight.
Room. Where is it, guys? Short. Leave it short.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, done.
2 rocks to come in the 9th end.
Yeah, that should be all right. Yeah.
Heather Houston has the hammer.
Let's try and bump that up.
well, the television viewers tomorrow, or the curling fans here, and anybody gets a chance to watch this final game
Kristen, a
tomorrow,
little left.
are in for a treat, because you'll see a young curler from Nova Scotia, Heather Rankin, who's put on a tremendous performance here all week.
She's been fun to watch.
Oh, she's terrific. And I'll tell you, if Allison Goring goes to tomorrow
Yep,
like she's
line.
gone today, whew,
Yep. Room. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Just for weight. Weight only.
she has not
Yep.
missed a single
Line's
thing.
good. Yep. Yep. Okay, Wolf.
Could be a real
Wolf.
battle of
Wolf.
skips tomorrow, because
Whoa,
Heather
yep.
Rankin all week has made those
Yep.
great big
She
shots when
has.
her team has needed it.
How's this? Is this any good, Linda?
She has just played so well. This has to be her best game of the week. I know she's played great all week, but this is just fabulous curling.
That's a good sign too, isn't it? When you come up, you know, that's what Heather Houston did, for example, in her last 2 tournaments. Scott Tournament of Hearts. She, you know, she maybe would get up. She got off to a slow start in both the round robins in both years, and then all of a sudden you got to the semifinals, and bang, she made everything she had to make.
I think we can say
Sometimes
congratulations.
percentages don't tell the whole story, but when you're hitting on 86%, that's got to be a terrific indication. And obviously, when you look at the other skips struggling at around 45%, it is pretty indicative of why there are 8 points up on the scoreboard for the skip who's shooting hot, and only 2 for the other.
No line. Oh, no line. No line. Okay. Gotta be there. Come on. Come on. Right up hard. Hurry. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Looks like 1 for Team Canada.
Not exactly what Heather Houston needed. And that's it. 8-3 will be the final. Allison Goring was taken a little bit by surprise. She was at the other end of the ice when the handshake came. I don't know that she was expecting it.
Well, she loses. She won and was a great champion. She loses like a true champion, and they've had 2 sensational years. I certainly give them my congratulations, and Look out, we got a game tomorrow, Linda.
Tough to defend that title in just about any sport, is it not? Heather Houston did it once. She could not do it a second time and be a 3-time Canadian champ in succession.
They've been unbelievable ambassadors for our country, too. They've just been absolutely admired everywhere they've gone, Linda.
Definitely. They were in Europe this year, and we were with them, and they're just a fabulous team. And there was a great ovation from the crowd here for both teams, but also for Heather's team as they go out as the champions.
Allison Goring has a chance to be the Canadian champ in 1990 by winning this tonight. Winning the semifinal, she wins a berth in the final tomorrow against Heather Rankin. Ontario's Allison Goring moves on. Team Canada steps aside. Turning point tonight brought to you by Butterball.
Well, John, not very often you go back into the second end for a turning point, but Linda and I really feel that this is the shot that turned this game around. Allison Goring, looking at 2 stones, plays a great hit and roll over to the button to set up the steal that really put the handle on the game.
A cash donation to Amateur Sport, Ottawa. The semifinal completes. There is the champion tonight.
Well, Allison, we're back with you, and that was a fabulous display of curling. We really are impressed with how it went, but how do you feel after that game?
Feel really good. We've always had a good game against Heather. We got a few breaks, and I played the best game I have all week, so hopefully I can keep it for tomorrow.
We called the turning point the shot you made in the second end, I believe it was, the hit and the roll, rolled right to the button. You called that all the way. How did it look to you?
Looked pretty good. I had firm weight, so because we needed a big roll, and looked good all the way down.
Well, Allison, congratulations. A just tremendous display of curling. It was just fabulous to watch. And that's the 3rd or 4th game you played, Heather?
I think it's the 4th or 5th game we've played her now in the last 2 or 3 years, yeah.
You love those results, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, we want to talk a little bit about the game tomorrow. You face Heather Rankin. She's had a great week and really made some big shots for her team. Are you looking for anything in particular from them?
No, they're going to go out and play their type of game, and we're going to play ours. And hopefully I'm playing a little better now than I did when I played Heather, and hopefully I can keep that up and come ahead.
Do you think it was any advantage playing the semifinal? They have to sit and watch you make those great shots. How do you feel about having tonight to get on the ice?
Well, it's nice to play tonight because we didn't have the day off, and all you do is sit around and think about it. Once you're out on the ice, it's okay, so it was good for us to play today.
Well, thanks very much, and have a great game tomorrow.
Thank you, Linda.
Over to Ray with the great champion.
Heather, it hurts a little bit, I know, but you've had a couple of sensational years.
We sure have, yes.
The game tonight, she came out hotter than a cracker and just made everything on you. And it's hard to get back in a game when they hit so well, they spill so well.
Well, they peeled great tonight, and had a little bit of trouble again with my draw weight, a little bit lighter, a little bit heavy, and I thought my team played great, and take responsibility for that one.
Well, it's a team effort, of course, and the double you tried in the 8th end, it's a matter of half an inch or so because you seem to throw it well, and if you get the double, it's a little bit of lift.
Yeah, it would have been, and then we fight the last 2 ends when we can see it within sight. But I really thought that their team played very strong. They made every come around, they made every peel, and looking forward to a really good game tomorrow. It'll be a unique experience for this team to watch, but hope it's a great game, and well, nothing's over till it's over.
Well, you've given us 2 sensational years, Heather, and it's just been fantastic. I guess I'd just like to hear your thoughts about representing Canada the past couple of years, and then all the traveling you've got to do around the world.
Oh, it's been great. We got to overseas about 3 times, and we've seen a lot of Canada. We've had a lot of friends made across the country that have sent us letters and talked to us, and we've met so many people, and the curling's been tremendous to us. And we thank everybody out there for sticking by us and hanging in there and cheering and just about everything.
I hate to put you on the spot like this. Do you have any feelings about the final tomorrow? Any one team you think that has an advantage over the other?
I don't really have a real good feeling for that. When we played Nova Scotia, they made absolutely everything. When we played Ontario today, they made absolutely
Sure
everything.
did.
So I hope that it's a great game, and there will be a new champion tomorrow for the first time in a while. So, and that champion will be able to represent this country with a great deal of talent. So, whoever it is, I think it's great for the game.
Well, Heather, thank you very, very much, Heather, for joining us, and thank you for 2 wonderful years. John, back to you.
Semi-final complete tomorrow. Tonight, Allison Goring wins and moves on against Heather Rankin in the final at the 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts.
Very quiet all of a sudden at the Ottawa Civic Center. Allison Goring moves on. Heather Houston steps aside. She will not be back to defend her championship, and it is a bit of a surprise in one way, I think, Linda Moore, as we look at this match this evening, that it did end so quickly, so early.
Well, it is a surprise. 2 great teams, and Heather Houston was very brave to come down. It's tough when you've just lost and you are the defending champion. It wasn't a good game for her, and it was a surprise to me, but everyone has those kinds of games.
Ray, it's awfully tough to beat a sharp shooter, and that was Allison Goring tonight.
Yeah, you weren't going to beat her with a stick, John, honestly. She really played so well, and you have those kind of games early in the, in the game. She had a few chances, and that's why we dug back into the second end for that turning point, because Heather was lying 2 there, and she had last rock in that second end. If she picks up her due, she's back in the game. And I think psychologically, the game is so much, I'm sure our fans get tired of hearing Linda and I say it, but the game is in the head. Once you have the mechanics, it's in the head, and you weren't going to beat Allison Goring today with anything.
I guess that's the question as we look ahead to tomorrow in one sense. Can Rankin beat Goring?
Well, if Heather can play the way she has all week, yes. But if Allison stays the way she is tonight, if they can hold those emotions tomorrow morning, they have a very good chance.
Ray?
Do you detect that Madam Minister is not picking a winner tomorrow, John?
I don't think she did say anything there, did she? No.
What a politician.
Well, she's been in Ottawa for a week.
It should be a terrific game. Allison Goring is hot as a cracker. Heather's been hot all week. It'll be super tomorrow.
All right, Ray, we'll continue here from the Scott Tournament of Hearts, 1990 edition. We're live in Ottawa, back to wrap things up right after this. Goring of Ontario, an 8-3 winner over the defending champion Heather Houston from Thunder Bay. Goring moves on to meet Heather Rankin of Nova Scotia in the final in Ottawa. The Labatt Brier gets underway on TSN Sunday. The first draw, 1:30 Eastern. Be with us for that. Thanks for watching the Scott Tournament of Hearts.